Our 22nd Sunday in Ordinary Time. From the book of Deuteronomy. Moses said to the people, "Now Israel, hear the statutes and decrees which I am teaching you to observe, that you may live and may enter in and take possession of the land which the Lord, the God of your fathers, is giving you. In your observance of the commandments of the Lord your God, which I enjoin upon you, you shall not add to what I command you, nor subtract from it. Observe them carefully, for thus will you give evidence of your wisdom and intelligence to the nations. Who will hear of all these statutes and say, 'This great nation is truly a wise and intelligent people'? For what great nation is there that has God so close to it as the Lord our God is to us whenever we call upon him? Or what great nation has statutes and decrees that are as just as this whole law which I am setting before you today?" The word of the Lord. Our second reading is from the book of James. Dearest brothers and sisters, all good giving and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no alteration or shadow caused by change. He willed to give us birth by the word of truth, that we may be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Humbly welcome the word that has been planted in you and is able to save your souls. Be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deluding yourselves. Religion that is pure and undefiled before God and the Father is this: to care for orphans and widows in their affliction, and to keep oneself unstained by the world. The word of the Lord. The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. When the Pharisees, with some scribes who had come from Jerusalem, gathered around Jesus, they observed that some of his disciples ate their meals with unclean, that is, unwashed hands. For the Pharisees, and in fact all Jews, do not eat without carefully washing their hands, keeping the tradition of the elders, and on coming from the marketplace, they do not eat without purifying themselves. And there are many other things that they have traditionally observed: the purification of cups and jugs and kettles and beds. So the Pharisees and scribes questioned him, "Why do your disciples not follow the tradition of the elders, but instead eat a meal with unclean hands?" He responded, "Well did Isaiah prophesy about you hypocrites, as it is written, 'This people honors me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. In vain do they worship me, teaching us doctrines, human precepts.' You disregard God's commandment, but cling to human tradition." He summoned the crowd again and said to them, "Hear me, all of you, and understand. Nothing that enters one from outside can defile that person, but the things that come out from within are what defile. From within people, from their hearts, come evil thoughts, unchastity, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, licentiousness, envy, blasphemy, arrogance, folly. All these evils come from within, and they defile." The Gospel of the Lord. When we read this Gospel from Mark, he's explaining Jewish ceremonial traditions, not because he's writing to Jewish people, because they would already know those traditions, but because he was addressing the Gentiles who were joining the Christian faith in large numbers. They were not following the Jewish traditions because they did not know them, and tensions were raised in that early Christian church. James is telling his readers to be doers of the word, and not just hearers. The Greek word hypocrite means actor, which can then reflect on our worship and lives, the connection between the way we worship and the way we live. Martin Luther felt that James' book did not belong in the Bible because it went against Paul's letters. But the Hebrew culture of Jesus' time, word, had a twofold meaning: a concept and an action. James believed that real faith will be manifested in our good works, which is the reason for the one-liner: be doers of the word and not hearers. We need to be conscious, people, of of the way we profess and the way we live that profession. If we profess to follow God's commandments and do not observe them in our daily lives, we're not living that faith. Not just one or two commandments, but all of them. Not observing our Sunday obligation causes us to ignore the commandment to keep holy the Sabbath. When we disobey or fail to honor our parents, we break that commandment. When we profess to follow Jesus' teaching of loving God and our neighbor, then we show others by our words that we do not love them. We fail to live what we profess. We profess morals and values in our Christian lives and engage in sexual activities outside of marriage. We fail to live what we profess. When the Catholic Church's leadership holds us all to strict teachings, and then has priests abusing children and covers up those actions, the Church has failed to live the very values and morals that they profess to teach. Be doers of the word, not just hearers. Have a good week, everyone. God bless.